think from last week, a lot of people have been denied the visa. A lot of people have also received the visa. And yes, fast forward, let me just, let you people, please, when you get your visa, what you should know is that that is not all. You are yet to pass the immigration. So when you get your visa and you get to, the airport, let's say you get to JFK, the place maybe you'll be passing through before you, let's say, board another flight to, let's say, your particular destination. If you have your school in Houston, if you have your school in any other state, before you get another flight. This is what you need to know. Getting the visa doesn't automatically send you to the US. We have had many students, being sent back because they were asked few questions at the port of entry and they were not able to answer the questions. So you need to also take this information seriously. When you get the visa and you are at the port of entry, the immigration officer there can ask you certain questions. Why are you in the country? Where are you going? One thing has to be clear. Every immigration officer wants to know the intention of an applicant or of a visa holder coming to his or her country. So yes, we have had issue in visa. We have had issue where a student was sent back to his country because he was not able to answer certain few questions. He was scared. Some of these things you are being asked at the port of entry to scare you guys, just to scare you guys. So if you get your visa, you are not done. It is left with the port of entry. Okay, so now let's talk about what I prepared for today. So now the other time I was talking about how people should attack or how people should answer specific questions or questions at the embassy or give response or what the visa officer expects you to give or how to respond when certain questions are asked. First of all, you need to ask yourself that why is the visa officer asking me this particular question? If you are able to get the why he or she is asking you the question, you always know how you should answer or how you should respond to that question. And people's remark of what happened between applicants and visa officers, you get to see that a lot of students do not even understand the question a visa officer may ask. And listen, if you deviate at the embassy, if a certain question is asked and you say another response for a particular question, one thing is that the visa officer wouldn't let you know. That is where the problem is. He wouldn't tell you you are wrong or you are right. But at the end of the interview, he is going to approve or deny you. A question like, what is your study plan and your plans after studies? A lot of applicants confuse themselves with these two things, these two questions. When a question is asked, what are your study plans? You get someone or you get an applicant saying that my study plan, I plan to come back to my home country to do this, to do that. The question was, what is your study plan? What does the study plan include? Your study plan include what? The number of credit hours of your program, some of the courses you'll be taking, whether your program includes internships or CPT for the health, those going to do the health programs and others. please take note of these things. What is your study plan is different from what are your plans after the program. Your plans after the program is when you talk about your aspirations after you are done with the program, what you are coming here to do with a degree that you've acquired, with the new skills, the new obtained from studying in the United States. What are you bringing on board in Ghana? Most of the times, a lot of people forget that pursuing a non-immigrant visa, your end goal is to return back to your home country. So people are asked simple questions. What will you do after your program? What are you coming here to do after your program? What are your plans after the program? You see a lot of people, giving response that shows that this person, when giving the visa, will not be returning to his or her home country. That is why there is a need for every question that is asked at the embassy. Applicants need to understand why is the visa officer asking me this question. Because I've already indicated these three things: your intention, your financials, and your plans to return to your home countries. These are the three things the visa officers will always look on to give the visa or to approve the visa. Your intention, did you even apply for the right visa? So you see a lot of people going for visits, but they have applied for an F1 visa category. So with that, the aim or the purpose of the visa is not what you apply for, so they just deny you. The second thing is that, are you a qualified applicant that the visa officer needs to give you the visa? Because some people, I always make this scenario. What will be what will make the visa officer know the difference that you, a student who has passed through the SHS level, the diploma level, the degree level, or even the master's level, or even the PhD, is going to pursue another program in the United States than someone who just applied to any school in the United States. The person has never been in the classroom before, but as you know, the United States, a lot of schools do not do a lot of scrutinizing when it comes to giving admission. That's why I've always been saying that there are a lot of schools in the United States that even if you apply today, you can get your admission in a week time. So one thing that you need to know is that you need to take care of the school, or you need to make sure that the school you are applying to is, credible. It's a good school. Because some people, some people may just apply with even with their birth certificate, can just get an admission to some schools that do not have any proper credibility in the United States. And when they do apply, they get the admission, they are just using the F1 as a route to go to the United States. They are not going to study. They have felt that, people are being approved. People are getting their visas through the F1 visas. So let's pass through. Let me pass through and get my visa and go. So their intention, which is one factor the visa officer may look, is wrong. So how would a visa officer differentiate between someone who genuinely wants to study in the United States, between someone who is just using the F1 visa as a route? And the second point is the most important point of all, the financials. So anyone who applied for a non-immigrant visa, and the person, let's say the person is going for a B1, B2, F1, F2, who is going to take care of the expenses? If someone is going to take care of the expenses, why is the person sponsoring you? What does the person do? If you are going to sponsor yourself in the United States, what do you do? Because you see that a lot of people are unable to graduate, especially the F1 students. They are unable to graduate because they couldn't pay their fees. That is why a lot of people end up taking loans. Because let's be honest with ourselves, how many of us here, if one approve a visa and you are having a deficit of 60, 70, $80,000, would be able to pay? And that's the very first question you need to ask yourself. That we may be in a rush for a visa officer to approve us of the visa, to approve our visas for us. But you should ask yourself, if your 70,000 worth of deficit is approved of the American embassy and you genuinely want to study, do you think you can pay that amount of money? Sometimes the visa officers look at, this program can be studied here in Ghana. Why are you studying this program in the United States? With a very huge deficit. I've always been saying, even on the I-20, it has been estimated that your tuition and fees for the 9 months. But this is what you have to know. If you are doing a bachelor's, you are going to do a bachelor's program, you should calculate it for 4 years. You are going to do a master's program, you should calculate it for 2 years. You are going to do a PhD, you should calculate it between 3 to 5 years. So that you get to understand the amount you are investing in your education. That is why I always preach about, getting funding, getting some sort of scholarship, getting, assistantship, fellowship, grants. Those going to do their masters, those going to do their PhD. Because if you're having a very lower deficit, you would be able to explain to the visa officer that you can pay. But if it becomes a difficult tax for you to explain to the visa officer that, this deficit I can pay, how would the visa officer be convinced that you are going to pay? Because what you guys don't know is that the visa officers, when they are stationed here in Ghana to conduct interviews at the embassy, remember they stay here with us, even though they might be paid in dollars. But do you know something? They spend in cedis since they are here in Ghana. And do not let anyone lie to you. They are being briefed or they are being coached about Ghana, how things works here. That is why if you submit any document to the embassy and you are placed on AP, let's say you send a bank statement and you are placed on administrative processing, and they have to look through before they can tell you that this bank statement is fake or this bank statement is not fake. I mean, since they have the connect, they have access connection with these banks, they are able to tell that, I mean, you have submitted something fake. So they know what is happening in Ghana. They know how hard the economy is. So you're going to tell a visa officer that, I can pay for this amount of fees, I can do this, I can do this. Someone is going to tell a visa officer, my mom is a teacher, my father is a teacher, and they are going to sponsor my deficit of $70,000. And you should ask yourself, how many teachers, how many even lecturers would be able to pay the amount of $70,000 if the tuition and fees, the person is going for a master's and the tuition and fees is 2 years. You'll be paying that for 2 years. If you are going to do a bachelor's, you are paying that for 4 years. If we are to open the floor for international students in the United States to come and share sometimes what they pass through in the country because they are unable to pay their fees, or because they are not even getting work as students. You'll be surprised. If you're having a very a very low deficit, let's say your deficit is around $1,000, $2,000. For that, you can work and pay off the deficit, because 20 hours a week can sort of pay off, because you can sort of pay it off. But 70,000, 60,000, 80,000, someone can just apply for a school in the United States, and when the person send the I-20 over for you to review, his deficit is around $100,000. Maybe this person is going to do masters in, let's say, computer science. And masters in computer science, this course or this program can be studied here in Ghana, and you're going to do it in the United States, and you're going to pay over $100,000. The visa officer will just assume that you just want to use the F1 as a route to the United States. A lot of people who are here and have been denied the visa can attest to me that when they get there, or when they get to the embassy, they get the feeling that the visa officer is denying me because of my funding. Those people who have been denied the visa before. That is why, of the 3 points that I'm giving, the financial aspect is very important, is very crucial, because the visa officer wants to be sure that can you pay for your tuition and fees? Can you afford for your living expenses in the United States? And the 3rd point, which is your plans after the program. Now I know there are a lot of tricky questions that are being asked at the embassy, where visa officers will try in as much as possible to deliberately ask you a question, assuming you are being given a job here. If you are being given this, would you stay in the country? Would you do this? They are all tricky questions for you to say yes. Remember, your sole goal is to complete the program, is to complete your visit, your trip, and return back to your home country. Even if you are on a B1, B2 visa, maybe the duration is 5 years, but you are entitled to stay in the country for 6 months and return to your home country. So we need to be careful on every question the visa officer asks us. Is the visa officer asks you, what do you do? Most of the times, people do not understand why the visa officer is asking what I do. Those who are my private students, those who I coach personally on the free sessions as well, I've always been telling you this. He expects one thing from you. One, he wants to understand that you are in Ghana here. Are you even okay? Because sometimes if you look at other people's profile, if you look at other people's application, you get to understand why the person is leaving the country. Sometimes some people are failing their DS-160, and the person may write he is not working, he is not doing anything, and you are young as well. Let's say you are ages between 18 to 35 to 40 years. Per research, the ages I gave between 18 to 45 are the most people who travel and do not return. So why would a visa officer be convinced to give you a visa? Why would a visa officer be convinced to give you a visa? F1 students or F1 applicants, you need not to tell a visa officer that, I have this property here, I have that property here. Your plans after the program is a home tie enough for the visa officer. your plans after your program is enough for the visa officer. So the very important thing each applicant should take note of is that when a question is asked, or before you get to the interview, at least most of the question you need to know what he expects from you. So I was talking about the what do you do. So the what do you do, he wants to know that first in Ghana here, what are you doing? How many years have you been doing this kind of job? What are your duties? How much are you even being paid? So all these, he wants to know all these things because he wants to be fully convinced. Imagine a businessman going on a business trip to the United States. This businessman is having his properties here in Ghana, is having a big company here in Ghana, and he makes an annual income of about $3 million, $1 million, and he's going on a business trip to the United States. And the visa officer asks, what do you do? And he says all these things. Do you think the visa officer will deny this person? No. Why? Because someone with this resume is not going to leave his business here and go and stay in the United States to start his new life there. You are going to do your PhD, you are going to do your masters, you are already in government working, or you are already working in the private sector. You have worked for the past 5 years, 10 years, 6 years, 4 years, 3 years. You receive a quite good amount of salary every month. So you didn't just wake up one day that, oh, I just want to travel to the United States. No. You processed it. You thought about it. Oh, I want to go and pursue my masters. I want to go and pursue my PhD. The visa officer gets to understand that, oh, this person is traveling not because he's not doing well, but he's traveling because of he has intentions to study in the United States. That is why it is very important to first, when a question of that sort is asked, you need to give an answer which the visa officer expects from you. So what do you do? Oh, I am a teacher at this government school, of which I've been working for the past 10 years. I teach, I take lesson notes, and I serve as a headmaster as well. And this role makes me a monthly income of 3,500 Ghana cedis. Simple. You see someone, trying to explain a lot or give more information. I've been telling you guys that there are questions that you need to explain more to the visa officer. Some questions you need to give a brief response. Because now you should know that someone can get to the embassy and just one question, just one question, the visa officer can determine that this person qualifies for the visa or this person do not qualify for the visa. We have had many instances where an applicant was asked only one question and the visa officer said, oh, you have been approved or you have been denied. So every question that is asked, if the question begins with a why, if the question begins with a how, you need to know that you have to explain to the visa officer, why are you doing this program? Why the US? But what do you do? Are you married? They are simple questions that you need not to even beat around the bush when a simple question is asked. Especially, what is your study plan? You hear a lot of people just beating around the bush. What is your study plan? Oh, you see, I'm going to do this Master of Science in Electrical Engineering at the University of this, and my credit hours I'll be doing. You need to be simple. The visa officer has been provided with the I-20. He has all the information he needs. He's asking you of the study plan. You need to be straightforward. Oh, my program is a 36 credit hour program. The first semester I'll be doing this program, this course, this, that, and I'll be doing my intention. I mean, you state what you'll be doing for the 9 months. That is why I'm saying every question you need to understand, or you need to process, you need to comprehend every question that is first asked at the embassy.